there might be a whites-only basketball league coming to a city near you.
All right, first, let me register my skepticism. The guy's really trying to put it together. It's called the All-American Basketball Alliance, okay? But this isn't going to fly, okay?
Of course it's not going to fly.
They're not going to put this league.
And look, he's trying to justify this by saying that whites are now the minority. Mm-hmm. And he just wants to put together a group of white guys who get to go play basketball with all this crazy street ball stuff included.
To show you how incredibly open-minded I am, okay, because I am the most open-minded man in America. When I started reading this story, when he said, look, we're a minority now, and I want a league of our own, right, I was actually like, huh, well, you know what? Maybe he can make a case for it. He can't. They just can't hang with the better players. So he's going to go try to, learn on his own with other white players and work his way up. Okay, now, that's ridiculous, but I thought, okay, maybe, right? And then you see his other quotes. Okay, that is not where he's going with this. Don Moose Lewis, the commissioner of the All-American Basketball Alliance, said the reasoning behind the league's roster restriction is not racism, and this is an article from the Chronicle in Augusta, Georgia. There's nothing hatred about what we're doing, he said. I don't hate anyone of color. But people of white, American-born citizens are in the minority now. Here's a league for white players to play fundamental basketball, which they like. And I'm like, we got a warning, a red flag, fundamental basketball. Okay, no. I see you. I see where this is going, right? So then he continues. He says he wants to by the way, his grammar is hideous. So that was also funny. What is this? But people of white, American-born citizens are in the minority now? That doesn't quite make sense. But anyway, let me continue. Lewis said he wants to emphasize fundamental basketball instead of street ball played by people of color. Okay? He pointed out recent incidents in the NBA, including Gilbert Arenas getting kicked out, et cetera, et cetera. He says, quote, would you want to go to a game and worry about a player flipping you off or attacking you in the stands or grabbing their crotch? I love that part. That's the culture today, and in a free country, we should have the right to move ourselves in a better direction. And you do. You go take your racist friends and you play basketball with them in your backyard. Nobody's stopping you, okay? But when you try to get business involved and get sponsorship and get a league and get towns to sign off on it, it ain't going to work. Look, have at it, Hoss. It is a free country. I'm not saying I'm stopping you. Go for it. See how it turns out for you. My guess is it's not going to work out. And he says we need a local person ingrained into the community to make this successful. And he's eventually planning to form 12 different leagues in 12 different towns. And he says, quote, the white game of basketball, which is essentially a fundamental game, works. And then, which of course, then I think, well, if it works so well, why doesn't it work in the NBA? Why don't you go out there and be like, all right, we're going to play the fundamental game of basketball. You grab the ball like this, and then you pass it like that. And then you receive it, pass it. And when you're taking a shot, you go like this, like I saw in the 1950s. Yeah, they tried that until they ran into black teams and got their ass kicked. Now, there's a famous story, of course, in Kentucky, et cetera, where they're like, oh, black people can't play basketball. We play fundamental white basketball here. And they're doing that goofy thing. And the black guys came in, they're like, oh, that's cool. Boom! What happened now? They kicked the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then they're like, yeah, let's sign black players. Now, of course, it's not that simple, and you don't want to get racialist on the other side, right? And, of course, they're great, great white basketball players. But this guy's trying to wind the clock back to the 1950s, and that's crazy. All right, Jay.
It's actually impossible. Even if, okay, first of all, it's an exclusionary thing, which you can't have. So, but the thing is, nobody want to play in it, number two. But how do you enforce that someone play by the fundamental way to play?
Yeah, what if he's a...
Is the ref going to blow the whistle? Oh, you caught the ball with one hand. We're going the other way.
Right. Imagine somebody tries to dunk. They're like, oh, you're kicked out of the league. What's the matter with you? Okay, you lay it up like a gentleman. And, yeah, I mean, come on. And the greatest white players in the league, Steve Nash, MVP a couple of times, Dirk Nowitzki, et cetera. Mm-hmm. They also, I mean, Nowitzki dunks. Nash does the craziest passes. He gets the job done. It ain't, I mean, these guys, they can't get it out of their heads. They just fell in love with the 1950s, and They want to go back. And part of the reason they want to go back, they always say, oh, no, it's because things were great back in the day. But they also partly want to go back because back then they were dominant, right? And they got to rule over everybody. That's part of what they miss. And this is a perfect example of that. So you go ahead and play your fundamental basketball and see how that works out for you, okay?